The British coastline is renowned for its headlands, whirlpools, strong tides. People just said it simply could not be done. My name's Ross Edgley. I'm an athlete adventurer and perhaps best known for becoming the first person to swim all the way around mainland Great Britain. When I announced that I wanted to attempt to swim around Great Britain, there was mixed reactions. 1,780 miles, 157 days, swimming for up to 12 hours a day. A lot of people said it simply could not be done. Very similar to 1875 Captain Webb, people said it's just impossible. When I heard that, it kind of spurred me on a little bit. I think as we went around the coast, it gathered momentum, and the story of the Great British Swim, people thought, he's crazy enough to potentially do this. I so often get asked about my motivation for the swim, and it changed a lot during every swim, every tide, every hour, and I often say that your reason to continue needs to be bigger than your reason to stop. So when I was swimming in the dead of night, couldn't see my hand in front of my face, it was that dark, I almost refused to think of the end. When I was with the Royal Marines, some of the best advice they gave me was think about the process. So if you constantly think, I'm going to, as efficiently as possible, put one arm in front of the other, and I keep doing that, and I never say quit, the outcome becomes inevitable. Timing was absolutely critical to the whole Great British Swim, in that, in theory, the tide changes every 6 hours. So it doesn't matter if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning, the tide will change and you either swim with it or you don't. And every time you don't, that's a missed opportunity. We got caught in an Arctic storm coming from Iceland. And even when you start getting around to the North Sea and you've no longer got the warmth of the Gulf Stream anymore, we would find that a lot of advancements in technology were failing us. And so quite often, the best thing you could do is just go back to that Captain Webb era. Like, what was he using? And quite often it was mechanical technology. It was a mechanical watch. And I just think the way that at Bremont we're really fearlessly progressive. That's what we're doing, in that we're, in terms of technology, we were trying to find new ways, really push the boundaries. How deep can you dive with a watch? How far can you go? How cold can it go? Testing it in the most hostile environments is exactly what I'm doing with my body. Without doubt, toughest moment of the Great British Swim has to be Corryvreckan. So, giant whirlpool in Scotland. We were speaking to local fishermen at the time, and they were saying, and this is no joke, that people have lost their lives, ships have gone down. You swim and you swim hard. So for 6 hours, I looked at my watch like that, and I was swimming. I got hit by a jellyfish, just straight to the face. And the jellyfish tentacle had threaded into my goggles, and I'd been wearing it for the last hour. And it was, for me, that moment, it was around halfway as well, that I really discovered how ruthless and unrelenting Mother Nature is. It doesn't care if your face has changed shape because you've been stung so many times. The tide will change every 6 hours, and you're either there or you're not. And if you're not, you don't make it around Great Britain. One of the hardest parts was probably swimming at night, just because the best way I can describe it to you is entering a world of complete sensory deprivation. You can't hear anything. Quite often you couldn't see anything. You couldn't see the hand in front of your face. I was nursing sea ulcers where my neck had cut and it wasn't healing. Parts of my tongue were falling off. You get what's called salt tongue, where the moisture from your tongue is completely sort of taken out, and I was tearing off bits of my tongue basically while I was swimming. I was just thinking survival. And I think that's the thing with the Great British Swim, is it wasn't just a swim. Quite often you were surviving at sea, you weren't just swimming at sea. Obviously the Bremont slogan being tested beyond endurance, and that resonates with me. I'm a sports scientist, and so often we will test sports science in quite confined and restricted conditions. And the Great British Swim took the sport of swimming and moved it outside of conventional realms. I just want to test human endurance, human performance, mental fortitude, mental resilience, but beyond what we already know. We know how that works in conventional sports science, so let's go beyond that.